This is Steve Beeson with American Ironworks. I've been asked to give a demonstration on the best way to put the whip stop on the 2-inch R13 hose. When the hose shops build the hose, they can go ahead and crimp the ends on if they'd like, but before they put the 1502 hammer unions on, I would recommend installing the whip stop. The whip stop will go over this, the male end, some people call it the female end, but it's the threaded end of the 1502 fitting. The 2.5-inch stainless steel whip stop will go over that, but it is hard to do. It's kind of like changing a tire. I'll show you here in a minute how we do it. It's a lot easier to go ahead and have the hose shop build up their hose, go ahead and crimp the fittings on the end, then you can take your whip stop like this and collapse it down. Just bring it on the hose. When it gets up here towards the end, grab your ears and just work it on like that. And what the hose shop will probably do is go ahead and get this whip stop out of the way, because most of the hose shops, once you slide that on, they're going to have to take and put this fitting on here, and then they will pressure check it with that fitting on. One little suggestion while we're talking about it. This is called Lube On 404 EU. This is the best pipe sealant that I've found. We do a lot of pressure pumping, and the Teflons just will not get you up there. This here, we've had a lot of success with it, pumping up to 15,000 and have not had any leaks. So if you do have to take a hammer union off out in the field, I would recommend this product here. Now, we're at the hose shop. We've already pressed the fittings on the end. We've installed the whip stop. You want to do the same thing on the other end. Slide another whip stop just like this on the other end. Then you can install your hammer unions like this. Naturally, you'll put a male on one side and a female on the other. Your whip stops are already on. Now I'm going to show you how to put the hose wrap protective cover on this. You want to position your whip stop to where these eyelets are flush with this right here. So if that fitting was on here, it would be out to about right here. So I'm going to pull that down. About right there. Then smooth your whip stop out like this and run your hands down. Now that will grip. When you brace the hose here and you pull on that, that whip stop should not slide. Again, I'm going to smooth it down. And I'm going to use a hose wrap here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right in this area here and then work it up. So on the hose wrap, right there. Now your hose wrap will protect your whip stop from chafing. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now that we have our plastic protective wrap on here, assuming that we already have the 1502 hammer union screwed on here, the hose has been tested. This hose is too big, I'm liable to pass out on you trying to lift it. But if we had the hammer union on here, we would bring it around, and if you can see, we have a double-eared hobble system right here. This will be bolted on rigid in the field, and this clamp will never move. So once you make connection here, these two ears, each of these ears will come to each side of this right here and shackle into it. So again, once the hose comes around, we make connection here. You spin your hammer union on, the two whipstop ears will come to this we call it a double-eared hobble clamp, and it works great for anchoring. That will secure that end. Now, let's talk about some of the hoses that are in the field that have not had the whipstop put on it, but they already have the hammer unions put on them. The only end of this 1502 that whipstop will go over is this end here, the one with the threads. Some people call it a male, some people call it a female. I call it a male because it goes inside the three wing nut on the 1502 fitting. I'll show you how to get this over this fitting, but if you have a 30-foot hose, you're going to and it has a hammer union on one end and this on the other, you have to bring both whipstops in over this fitting. That's why we recommend putting that on in the hose shop before they screw the fittings on there. That comes off easier than it goes on. Okay, this is 1502 piping here. We do not recommend the whipstop on piping, but this is the only hammer union that I have, so that's why I'm demonstrating how to put the whipstop over this hammer union. Again, we do not use this on 1502 piping, only hose. And like I was saying earlier, this is not an easy process here. It's a lot better to put this on before you put these fittings on here, but it can be done. So if you have existing hoses that you have to put this on, don't let the guys in the field tell you that it can't be done. No fat boy like me can do it, they can do it too. The trick to this is just to work it back and forth like that, and then when you get to the end here, get to the end here, kind of start one side up over and just work individual wires over. There you are. Again, they call you and say you can't get it on, tell them you saw somebody do it. Well, this right here will be on the hose. You have to come in on this male side on both ends of the hose. I mean, with both whipstops. One of them, the first one, is going to be turned with the ears in because it's going to go to the other end of the hose. The second one will go on like this. I think we talked about this before, but if you have to unscrew this union off of a hose, this is some of the best stuff that I've ever seen right here as a sealant. We pump to 15,000 in nitrogen all the time, and it does a lot better job than Teflon. So I think that'll do it.